Hi, welcome to Painting Rogue. My name is T.W.Williams, and this is my art. I used to get asked all the time to teach painting, but I've never felt qualified. I decided to make a series of videos where it's more about just watching the process, observing, relaxing, and just enjoy the art of painting. Hey everyone, welcome to Painting Rogue. I'm T.W.Williams, and we are going to do a little painting today. I thought we'd do a little starry kind of night scene. I've been messing around with this theme for the longest time. I really love stars, kind of nebulous skies, kind of a Milky Way type thing. And my my videos are going to be very kind of soft spoken. They're supposed to be relaxing. It's not necessarily an educational type of program. It's just I want you to watch and learn that way. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. All right, I'm going to start with a blank canvas. I normally put some sort of underpainting, but I found that it sounds better on the mic if I don't do an underpainting. You get more of the texture sound as I'm painting, and people seem to like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a night sky. I'm going to work dark to light. Let's see what we have here. In my program, I'm not going to talk about colors I'm using or anything like that. I found that most people don't care. They're just watching. They just like watching the process of painting. They don't necessarily want to get too involved. Some do, but that's not my focus. I'm going to see how much I can get done in about a half an hour. We'll just see. Maybe less time. We're just going to kind of go for it. Okay, I'm going to start lightening that a little bit. I'm going to get into some purple. Let's turn a little purple as we go down. Mixing that up into the sky and I'm letting that all just kind of mix around, blend together. For a very short time, I had a painting show on a streaming network, and it actually was cool. It went all right. Um, the thing I didn't like is hitting up people to buy subscriptions. I know that's kind of the deal. I knew that going in, but once all was said and done, I just did not like it. So I thought, you know what, I could do a YouTube show where I just paint and talk with you, and just do things my way. Okay, I'm going to get into some very pale orange. Let this turn kind of orange down here where the sun is going down. I know it doesn't look like much now, but hang with me. It'll probably be something. I don't know. You know, if you stick with me on the show, you're probably going to see some failures. Stupid bracelets are making too much noise. keep going paler as we go down. I'm just putting some straight white. Got some purple still on my brush. See if I can't cover that. Okay, now from the bottom, I'm going to go back and forth all the way up and just let all this blend together. I'm actually bringing some of that light color up into the sky, and I don't mind that. Okay, that's not a bad spot to start. Okay. Now, here's a fun part I like to do. I'm going to get a different brush. I'm going to start with my kind of nebulous sky that we're going to have. It'll make sense as we go. It's going to look weird now. I hope you're finding this relaxing. I'll tell you a little bit about me. Not that you asked, but I used to be a musician. I was a drummer for a long time in a hard rock band. I know this sounds pathetic, but we almost made it. We were very, very close. We were talking to the right people. Certain famous people liked the band. We were starting to work with some famous people. And it all blew up. And I was in my mid 20s, maybe late 20s. It all blew up. And I decided, I've always thought oil painting was cool. Maybe I can do it. So actually, I had a relative buy me a set for Christmas. And I loved it. I took right to it. If I do say so myself, that sounds immodest, but that's the truth. I really did. I made money in my first year, and I didn't even know what I was doing, really. I probably made more money in the first year painting than I did the whole time in music. There's just no money in music. But I miss music like you would not believe. There's nothing like feeling the feeling of being on stage. It's seriously, it's a drug. You absolutely want it no matter what. It takes a lot to walk away from that. But I realized, in all honesty, I wasn't that great of a drummer. I was okay. I had my moments. Still looks weird, doesn't it? Sometimes you just have to trust your instincts and your what's the word? Your experience. I know I can turn this into something, even though it looks like nothing now. I use my finger a lot. There's a lot of artists who, if they do use their finger, they put on gloves. And I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad idea. It's probably a good idea, actually, because there's probably something in these paints it's not good for you to absorb into your skin. But at this point, I'm old and I don't care. Just don't care. At some point, I may add a second camera and we'll do some different views. I'm just kind of blurring these edges out. That middle needs to be darker, much darker, really. You may notice I don't paint like a lot of people. I don't do a lot of strokes like this. I dab, especially when I get to this point in a painting. After I've, made the background, I start dabbing paint on. I don't know why, but it's kind of an impressionist thing, I think. Okay, still looks weird. That's the one thing about what I'm doing right now I didn't plan this really beforehand. I just had a rough idea of what I wanted to do, and I like doing that. I like challenging myself. Just go, here's a canvas. Maybe I might put two or three colors of paint down just to see what I can do with it. Challenge myself. Sometimes it doesn't go well. I have a whole closet of failures that I end up painting over. I will end up painting over it sometime, at some point. This is taking me a little longer than I expected, I'm not gonna lie. These are always tricky. Sometimes I have to just keep pushing paint around until boom, there. Like, oh, okay, that looks right. Sometimes it just doesn't. You just have to keep going. Sometimes you have to start all over again. I've done that so many times I couldn't even count. Okay. Kind of blend this out. lowered the sky a little bit. I should have called the show just kind of winging it painting. Okay. Something that I think is kind of fun to do is make stars. This is very simple. Take some white. This might have a little bit of an orange tint to the white. I put it on a stiff brush. Believe it or not, a brush that I've barely cleaned. And I kind of stand back and I flick it. That's better than it usually is, to be honest. Usually have more splatter. These came out like pretty good dots, really. See how easy that was? And it's super fun to do too. You have to have just the right consistency of the white and the liquid is what I use to thin it down. Liquid Original Winsor & Newton, it's awesome. Use it for everything. I'm going to go back in here with some little darker again. Take out some of these stars that are in the middle here. I found by looking at pictures of this kind of Milky Way, kind of nebulous thing I got going, this darker part in the middle is covering stars. So that's what I'm kind of doing, is covering up some of the stars as we go. You guys still with me? Weird, right? I hope it looks good to you. It's coming around slowly. I wanted to tell you that I'm mostly known for doing paranormal type themed paintings. I've got a whole series of paintings where I hide Bigfoot in the landscapes. It's crazy, but they've sold really well. And I had some people approach me, and I've done. Oop, everything's fallen here in Shipwreck Studios. This is my book. This is full of my hidden Bigfoot paintings. It's set up like like your own expedition. You leave in the spring, and you go off and you look for the Bigfoot in the painting. Sometimes there's one, sometimes there's 5. Then you can write down how many you think you see down here. Then at the end of the book, because I'm not a jerk, I'll show you where they all were. I have them circled. Anyway, it's a hardback book. It's really cool. It's on Amazon. Can't beat it. It's a great gift, especially for anybody into the paranormal or anything like that. They'll dig it. They will totally dig it. Okay. Let's get back to our painting. All right, that's not looking terrible. I want to make some mountains now. I know it's a little cliche to put mountains in there, but I think it needs it. Let me find just the right brush here. Okay. So I'm going to take some of that dark color that we used for the dark part in the sky. Make it just a little darker. Some blue, purple, and black. And I'm going to start down here. I'm going to make a really tall mountain. In case you're wondering, I do not use palette knives hardly ever. I just never liked them. I don't, I can't, I don't control them as well as I do with a brush. So, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this bottom part. Like I said, this is winging it. I'm just going for it and see what looks right. Okay, I'm going to get a smaller brush here. I'm going to take some white and orange, maybe a little bit of purple. Thin it down just a little bit. And now we have to determine where our light source is coming. And this is a big thing. And this is something that if you're learning painting, you need to think about all the time. Where's the light source? In this painting, I'm just going to say the light source is coming this way. Why? I don't know. It's just the way I want to do it. So I'm adding the light color on just this one side of the mountain. So you got to think about how the light hits. It's coming in, and everything from here on is not quite in the light, so it's darker. This might have a little light hitting it, but this part is definitely dark because you're just not going to see it as well. It's just blocked out. I come back with an even lighter version of that. Oh, and one other thing, all my work is for sale. I sell mostly through social media, but I get invited to shows every now and then, and I vend and I sell my art. I've got bristles coming off this brush. That's annoying. So yeah, if you like what you're seeing, you can buy it. And I'm extremely reasonable. When the economy tanked, I went from selling paintings to, oh, it was funny. It was like $600 for a painting. Then it was $5, and then it was $4, then it was $3. Then there was a period of time where I was selling something like this for $85, just because nobody was buying. And I was having a great career there for a while. The economy tanked, but it seems to be getting better. I don't know. But I'm extremely reasonable when I ship all over. Okay, I don't love exactly what I did with some of that. I'm going to go back over. These are just, I don't even know what you call these. Just little mountain structures. It's where the mountains are getting smaller. They're still a little rugged. All right, I might try to be clever here. Might get too clever. We'll see. Cleaning out the brush real quick. I'm going to try this. May not work. We'll see. I am going to take some orange and white. This to me looks like it could be a lake. So we're going to put sky colors in there. The sky is always reflected in the lake. Well, not always, but you know what I mean. It's orange. You got to think about how it reflects. How is the reflection falling? So that dark kind of thing we got going here. Maybe it's right here. Let's define this a little more. I'm still not convinced I'm going to make this a lake. We'll see. I maybe thought about it a little too late. We'll try. And what do I mean by thought about it too late? I put a lot of dark color down here. And it'd be hard to put these light colors on top unless I waited for it to dry. And I'm impatient, so I rarely ever do that. But I can lift some of it off with a napkin. I do that every now and then. I hope if you have ASMR, you're digging this. I do, I have major ASMR, and it's weird. A lot of people have the same story, but I didn't know what it was until, gosh, I don't know, 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. And I heard a radio broadcast, and they talk about this phenomenon. I was all like, I know what that is. I had no idea it had a name. But when I was a kid, I would watch other kids my age draw with crowns and stuff. And I would get that ASMR that if you don't know what it is, you'll have to Google it. I can't possibly explain it. It is absolutely crazy. It's just this euphoric feeling that kind of goes up the back of your head. I guess some people could call it, I've heard it called a head orgasm. I've heard it called just a neck stimulation, euphoric something. I don't know. But I have had some people who don't know exactly what ASMR is. They don't have it. They have said, is it like when you're, getting your hair cut and you get real relaxed all of a sudden and it feels really nice? And it's like, yes, that probably is it. That's maybe the closest thing. The people who don't know what it is, it's probably the closest thing you could come to. Yeah, I don't know. And I do want to stress this. Other painters, they complete a painting in, an hour, half an hour, whatever. I'm doing a very quick version of this painting. I am not messing around with it too much. If this was something, if this was something that I wasn't showing you guys, I'd be taking my time a little bit more. I have a show coming up in Nashville, Indiana, at the end of this month, and it's Bigfoot related. Some of the people from the show Expedition Bigfoot will be there, and some other celebrities and stuff. Some of them are my friends, and I will be. Everything I'm painting right now is for that show, so it's Bigfoot related. And do I believe in Bigfoot? Yeah, I think I do. I started putting Bigfoot in my paintings just because I thought it was kind of funny. And I was doing regular fine art events, and I would I just do normal fine art stuff, flowers and vases and landscapes. And then one day I was listening to a paranormal podcast about Bigfoot, and I just got inspired. And hey, I'll throw a little Bigfoot in this picture and just see what it looks like. Just hide it in the background. Then I thought, oh, wouldn't it be funny if I just didn't tell anyone? And then one day they walk by that painting, and out of the corner of their eye, they just catch it, and they're kind of like, "Hey, what is that?" Just thought it'd be kind of funny. So I started doing that, but I didn't think anybody would care about it. I just did it because I thought it was funny. Then I realized later on that a lot of people really dug the idea. So I started painting a ton of them. And that's what I do now. I mostly paint Bigfoot in landscapes for a living. I had people, it's funny, I should be flattered, but it's kind of annoying, really. But there's other people who have started doing it now. And, I know I didn't invent the whole hiding something in a picture thing. Obviously, I know I didn't invent that, so I can't exactly say anything about it. But it's just a little annoying that people are kind of doing it and riding off my coattails. But hey, one of the guys I saw do it, he's not bad. And I know that the one thing I don't like is people are getting our art mixed up sometimes. And that I don't like. I'm not sure it got to my point earlier when I was talking about how fast I'm doing these paintings. What I was trying to get at was what I'm showing you is unfinished. Some painters in their painting shows will do it and they're like, ta da, I'm done. I'll probably go back over this. This, in a way, this is all kind of underpainting. And I'll go back over a lot of this, touch, tweak it, make some of it more interesting. Right now, it's not super interesting. Add in some foliage. Add in some trees. And what I'll do, you know what, I'll probably finish this out, and maybe in the next video I'll show you guys how it turned out, just so you can see the finished thing. But anyway, we went on a long time now, and I really hope you liked it. I'm new to this. I'll get better. Um, like I said, I hope you weren't expecting me to teach a lesson so much. It was more just about relaxing and just kind of watching the process. And I hope you got something from that. But till next time, thanks.